welcome back into the ACC Network Women's Basketball Podcast, joined by the man himself, Jeff Walz, head coach of the Louisville Cardinals. Coach, what a week your team had last week, winning at Notre Dame, winning at NC State. One of the more impressive weeks I've seen in ACC regular season play in a while. What did you learn about your team over this past week?
You know what? I'm very, very pleased with the depth that we have. We showed a lot of resiliency, both at Notre Dame and at NC State. It's a group that I don't have to call a bunch of timeouts to get them to gather themselves. We got down 13 at NC State, and a lot of it was just due to the fact we couldn't make shots in the first half. We had great looks. The ball just did not go in. We held them to 33 points in the first half. We just couldn't score. But I was really pleased with how we just stayed patient, continued to execute and share the basketball, and then we finally made some shots.
Jeff, it's not always fair to compare this team to four of your others that have made it to the Final Four and played in 2 title games. But in your culture, you are the third fastest active coach to 500 wins. So you certainly know what it looks like, what a good team looks like, and what it takes to get there. Where are you on that scale right now with this group as we head into February?
Well, I like where we are. I'd like to see a little bit more consistency from our entire group. What we're doing right now, which has worked well for us, and it's been good, is Aleph played great at Miami, and then Raina Scott played really good at Notre Dame. Amari Berry played spectacular at NC State. I keep challenging them if we could get 5 or 6 of them just to play good, not great. Instead of having one great night from one player, if we could just play good with 6, it'd be scary to see what we could be. And that's what I've challenged them with. I said, the great teams that we've had here, our Final Four teams, there's been 3 or 4 players before every night I could look at a stat sheet and go, I know what I'm going to get. And then the 5th one would rotate between 2 or 3 players. Right now, we've got about 7, and I just need to see a little bit more consistency from about 2 or 3 of them. So then I can say, hey, the 4th one is going to be between these 3 players. That's what I'm hoping we'll start to see. But I do like the fact that whoever does have the hot hand, they understand that, and they're willing to get the ball to that player.
Yeah, it's a very unselfish approach, Coach. And, speaking of the hot hand, Amari Berry was ridiculous in Raleigh. Some of the shots she hit were just unbelievable. And I know you've had such high hopes for her. She was such a big-time recruit. Last year kind of finding her footing, but I thought that NC State game was a breakout game for her. What did you see from her in that game that you want her to continue to channel throughout the season?
Well, I just like the fact she took shots. She is a kid that I've been trying to get to shoot more. But I think if you go back and watch that entire game, the last play of the game shows you what type of kid that she is. They pressed. She had a chance to make a layup, but gave it up to Skylar Jones to shoot one instead, and that's exactly who Amari Berry is. Most kids would have taken and scored that themselves. She's always looking to pass the basketball, and that's one of the things that I've challenged her with. I need her to look to score first. So I'm hoping this gives her the confidence to know her teammates want her to score as well, because she is the one that we have that's probably got the best ability to get her own shot. But we've really done a nice job. Our team is very unselfish. Our posts do a great job of setting screens, and Amari does not need a bunch of room to get her shot off.
Jeff, so what you've described is your team without really an alpha, and without having an alpha and a very unselfish team, there can be times where, as you just said, Amari can be a little bit too unselfish. When you're managing 8 that could start because you have that much balance and talent, how does practice play into your decision making and your game prep? When I had Taj Roberts on my podcast, she talked about how good you are in game at adjusting, how good you are at drawing up plays. How good collectively is the IQ of this group where you can change your ball screen coverage on the fly, or you can drop something at a timeout, because your ATO percentage is 99 percentile on synergy. So your kids are definitely locked in.
Now, it's been fun for me. It's been a few years since I've been able to make in-game adjustments and draw up some things that we might not practice every day. So that really makes it enjoyable for me, because it's one of the things that I love to do. And then we've got a group that, like I said, I mean, that last shot that Amari hits, when we're down 5 to cut it to 2 out of the timeout. I mean, I call the timeout. I get him in there, and Taj was like, "Hey, it's for Amari. She's shooting the ball great." Like,
Yeah.
our kids are willing to give the ball to someone else when it's their night, and not every team does that. So I like where we are, and if we can continue to get better each day, I I think this team has a chance, to go real far in March. Now, I've said it before. We are a team also that we don't have a lot of wiggle room. I mean, it is a fine line for us winning and losing, so we can't get overconfident not to think that we don't have to come and execute and perform every single day.
Coach, this roster is a bit unique because you only have 3 transfers and you have this sophomore class that feels really bought into this program with, you talked about Amari Berry, Taj Roberts, McKinley Randolph, and Nia Hardy. And I assume they're not going anywhere. They seem very locked in to you in this program, but they're really a foundation for your program. What have they meant to Louisville at this point so far?
Well, it's a special group. There's no question about that. We had some growing pains as freshmen, just understanding, last year how difficult it is to come in and play significant minutes, and now they've really worked hard in the off season, and it's been fun to watch them each grow. I've been so impressed with what Mac has done as well. Her growth from last year to now, and the contributions that she's making, she's only going to get better and better. Obviously, Amari and Taj, and then Hardy. She is a work in in process. It's a kid that we knew had unbelievable athleticism, and then it was just going to be to try to teach her how to play basketball. And she has done some great things for us, and I just think the sky is the limit for her. And then we've added 3 transfers who are all good kids. Raina Scott comes in. She works hard every single day. I'm able to challenge her. She's bought in completely because she likes to win. Skylar's a kid that, she's learning now that consistency is so important for us for to be able to win at a high level. Her second half at NC State was great, and then Laura is a kid that can play inside out, can handle the ball. So all 3 of our transfers have all brought something to help our program, and they're good kids. And that's really where we've hit the jackpot. It's not just on good players, but it's good people.
Jeff, I know what a family guy you are. You've got 4 kids, 3 daughters. Your son Jacob is a manager on the basketball team with you. I'm sure you're hard on him every day. I want to ask you about seeing the game through the lens that you saw it through with your sister Jamie, because a lot of people may not know where you got your start in the game and how much pouring into the women's athletics has been important to you your whole career.
Now, I'm very fortunate. I mean, I wouldn't be here where I am if it wasn't for my sister. I mean, there's no arguing there. It's just the truth. Jamie was a elite basketball player. She was a national player of the year in 1996. When I like to say I retired from playing at Northern Kentucky, you know, the good Lord did not bless me with very quick feet, so my career was cut short. But I then decided to ask her if she would play AAU basketball. The state of Kentucky really did not have an AAU program at that time, and she agreed to. And I was very fortunate that within a 2-year period, the 1995 graduating class of Kentucky in 1996 had some of the best bad basketball players the state's ever produced. Yukari Figs, who was a starting point guard at Purdue when they won the national championship. Marita Porter played at Ohio State. Shay Lunsford played at Western Kentucky, then also in the W, and then Kyra Elsie was in my sister's class in '96, and those 5 kids all agreed to play. So I had the chance to coach them, and then everybody started offering me GA jobs. So I went down to Western Kentucky, got my master's degree, worked with Paul for 2 years there, and then 4 years out at Nebraska, and that's really how I got my start.
That's incredible, Coach. All right, last one for you, because we know you got to run. You're heading to your daughter's spelling bee. So the real question we want to ask is, can you spell Elif Istanbululu?
Now, I'm going to tell you this. The spelling and the academics all come from my wife. Lauren is by far the smarter one in the family. So I can ELIF is as far as I get. I can't even. I told her family in Aleph I can't even pronounce her last name because I'll stutter on it. So I just call her E.
Hey,
that's what I call her.
Coach. Yeah, that's easy for all of us. Coach, thank you for your time. We appreciate it, and keep up the good work. We're enjoying watching your team this year.
I appreciate y'all. Take care. Thank you.
All right, we've got a brand new segment for you this week. Who's that hooper? Who do we want to hype up? Who's Debbie choosing? I don't even know. I don't know who Debbie's choosing. You'll find out when we get back here on the ACC Network Women's Basketball Podcast.